Hello students, it's Dr. Yu. Today we're going to talk about job search strategies. Now that you've learned some framework about how exactly you're going to approach the job market from a holistic standpoint, now we're going to start talking about details regarding what exactly you do to find jobs. So this is going to be much more hands-on, detail-oriented. Now, there are three things that we're going to cover in this lecture today. The first question we're going to ask is, what are the typical job search strategies? So you're going to learn some job search 101 and just what are the typical ways that people tend to find jobs. But then secondly, you're going to learn about this concept called the career ecosystem. The career ecosystem is something that you build throughout your career that provides you a lot of benefits and opportunities to advance within your career. And we're going to talk about a lot of things related to that. And then thirdly, we're going to ask, how can you use the career ecosystem to execute a more successful job search? So once you learn about the career ecosystem, we're going to learn ways to enhance your job search so it's going to be more effective. So let's get to it. Now, the first question is, what are the typical job search strategies? Well, there are two types of job searches. First, there is the active job search. In the active job search, you are actively applying for jobs. You are basically saying, I am on the market and I am doing things actively to try to make or get a specific job. Now, you can be active and still employed, or you can be active and unemployed. In both cases, you're still actively applying to jobs. You're putting out your resume, you're giving it to people, you're checking the job postings, and you're actively looking. This is opposite from a passive job search. So what's a passive job search? A passive job search will be one that is more focused on not necessarily leaving, but just more focused on, you're focusing on the present, if you will, and you're okay where you are, but you're open to opportunities. So in a passive job search, you might still have your LinkedIn out, and in fact, you probably will have your LinkedIn available. And if something comes your way, you'll look into it, you'll investigate it, but you're not actively looking. You're not applying to any job that you see. You kind of just put yourself out there passively. If something comes along your way, you'll take it, but you're not itching to get out where you are currently. You're okay where you are. And then lastly, and this isn't a type of job search, but it's just another state that you could be in, is you could just be in a settled state. In a settled state, you're not looking for anything, nor are you open to any specific opportunities because you're settled in your position. So somebody who's settled, even if they have a LinkedIn profile, let's say, and a recruiter reaches out to them and say, hey, do you want to come work for us? The settled person is just going to say, no, I like where I'm at. I'm happy where I am. Everything is good. Life is good. There's no reason for me to take any new jobs or advance in my career. I'm happy where I'm at. So the two that are really job searches are the active job search, where you're actively applying and putting out your resume. The passive job search, where you may not be actively handing out your resume, but you're putting yourself out there and letting opportunities come to you. That's more passive. And then settled is really not a job search at all because you're settled. You don't want to go anywhere. Now, there are two ways that you can apply for a job. What do you mean? Well, there is the direct way of applying for a job. In the direct way of applying for a job, you're going to give your resume directly to a company in some capacity. Now, you'll learn that there are three entry points into employment. It's either through the HR office through applying, or through a referral, so somebody at the company, or through a recruiter. So directly, when you apply for a job, you're handing your resume to a particular position, and you're hoping to fulfill that position and get that job. But then there's also the reverse job search. The reverse job search, you post your resume online, and you let employers and recruiters find you. So it's like putting your resume on Indeed and not applying to a specific company or applying to a specific position, but just putting your resume on Indeed.com and letting whoever is searching you to come find your resume and offer you something. So the reverse job search, the direct job search is me, here's a posting, here's an opening, here's me giving my resume to that opening. The reverse job search is, here's my resume to the world. Okay, here's a position that is coming to me, and they're going to be coming to me, asking me if I want to join their company, versus in the direct, I go to the company and I say, here's why you should consider me, and here's why I think I'm a good fit. So very different approaches to the job search. Now, here are some examples of direct strategies. And more specifically, what we're going to focus on here are the different types of job boards. Because when you need to find a job posting, you have to know where to look. And a lot of people think it's common sense, but there's actually 5 different types of job boards, and they each have their own advantages and disadvantages. So let's take a look at each. The first type of job board is a general job board. A general job board, just generally, is a job board that amasses a bunch of different job postings. So in a general job board, it's going to be job postings across several industries, several levels. So you might have executive levels and entry levels and mid-career level job postings. So a general job board takes them all from all industries. Anybody from any industry, any background can go to this job board site and find jobs there. Your most common general job boards are CareerBuilder, Monster.com is a general job board, or Indeed.com is a general job board. It's just a conglomeration of massive, everybody posts there, and it's just everybody and their mom on this job board. Now, this is where most people go, and this is what most people do. They go to CareerBuilder, or they go to Indeed, or they go to such general job boards. Now, the advantage to a job board like CareerBuilder and Indeed and such is that yes, there's lots of jobs on there, and there's lots of postings, and if you type something in the search engine, you'll find a job posting that probably interests you. But the disadvantage is that everybody and their mom is on this. There's high levels of competition for every job. The number will vary according to whoever you survey or study, but the average job posting has anywhere between 70 to 200 applicants per posting. So that's why we're so focused on being better than the competition, is because we're not going against just one person or two people. We're going against 70 to 200 different applicants. So when you go to these general job boards, you're getting convenience, but the trade-off to convenience is more competition. Okay, so what are some other options besides just general job boards? Well, you have 4 other options that you can consider. The second option are high-end job boards. Now, depending where you are in your career as you watch this may not be available to you just yet, but high-end job boards are job boards that you have to pay to be part of. So on CareerBuilder, you don't have to pay anything to apply. You don't have to pay anything to look at a job posting. It's free for all. But if you go on the ladders, for example, you have to register for an account, and then you have to pay a membership fee to apply for the jobs. I think you can still look at them, but you just can't apply unless you pay the monthly fee. Now you might be wondering, well, who would do that? Well, here's the thing. The ladders is filled with a lot of jobs that pay over $100,000 a year. It's geared towards people who are more at the executive level or the more advanced career level. And so one way that they try to keep the job board high quality is they have a paywall. So that way not everybody and their mom is applying to the jobs that are there because, I want to make $100,000, I'm going to apply too. Well, it's not that easy. You probably wouldn't get a job if that's how you think, but you have to make sure you meet the qualifications, and this is the way they make sure that not everybody and their mom is applying. And it works really well. A lot of people get jobs through the ladders, and they're high quality jobs. See, on CareerBuilder, anybody can post a job posting. That's the other thing. So just as anybody can apply on CareerBuilder, almost anybody can put a job posting on CareerBuilder, and that may not always be a good thing. The ladders, things are more vetted, you have to pay, all these things. So it's just a different experience for people. But then there's a third type of job board, and this one will definitely apply wherever you are, whatever situation you're in, and these are called the situated job boards. Situated job boards are job boards designed for people in specific life situations. So let me give you some examples. The Department of Veterans Affairs has a situated job board just for veterans. So a common issue that comes up in career transition is veterans of the military want to transition into civilian careers. It's really hard for them because the military is so specific in terms of their jobs, and they don't always translate well into civilian hiring. So the Veterans Administration has job boards that are geared towards former military people. And so if you're a former military service member, you can go to the VA job boards and you'll have a job board directly made for your situation. Another example of a situated job board, if you're a student of mine, is the Career Center job boards, the ACC or college job boards at your university. Your university has a job board through your Career Center that is geared towards recent college graduates. So if you go on Career Builder and you're like, all these jobs require experience, okay, well, go to your situated job board, so a job board for recent college grads, and all the jobs there are going to be geared towards your experience level. So you have access to that probably through your Career Center at your university or college. I know ACC has one for students. Fourthly, you have industry job boards. Now, one thing that you'll need to figure out once you decide what your job target is what is my professional association affiliated with my career? Once you know what that is, you need to go to that website and go to your industry's job board. So, for example, with the Public Relations Society of America, they have on their website, it's their industry organization for public relations specialists, they have a job board just for PR people. Whatever your job is, figure out what your industry is, and then find job boards just for your industry. Another example, it doesn't even always have to be a professional association. Another example would be if you're in the legal field, there's a website called lawjobs.com. It's a job board for just legal-oriented careers. So you go to lawjobs.com and then you find jobs that way. Or if you're in hospitality, there's a website called hcareers.com where it's all hospitality jobs. So you might want to look at industry job boards as well. And then fifthly, there are company job boards. Let's say you really want to work at Patagonia. Patagonia, on their company website, has a job board for just positions at their company. Now, the nice thing about company job boards is that they're all in one place and then you can apply and it's all there. But of course, the job board is going to be smaller because it's only openings at that particular company. But one job search strategy you can think about as you consider what you want to do with your life is sometimes if you don't know what you want to do, the better way to start is to ask, where do you want to work? If there's a company that you really like, let's say it's Patagonia because you really like outdoorsy travel stuff, then you can go ahead and just go to the Patagonia website, look at what kind of job openings they have. And then you can sign up for a job agent. A job agent alerts you when certain jobs open up. And then you can follow Patagonia, and then when something that they have speaks to you, you can apply to it. But overall, there are 5 different job boards. Now, the general argument is this, that the general job boards, though they're convenient, they're probably the lowest percentage shots. Now, I did get my post-grad career off careerbuilder.com, so as much as I say that, I did get a job off there. But it's kind of like if you just go to CareerBuilder and you just go to Indeed and that's it, you're missing out on all these other opportunities that have more catered positions, more catered postings, and there could be recruiters and such on these sites that could really help you and speak to your specific situation and help you succeed. So when you look for a job posting, consider all 5 types of job boards, not just the general ones. Now, we were just talking about direct application or direct applying for jobs directly. Now, if you want to exercise the reverse job search, where you just want to put your resume out there and let jobs come to you or let recruiters come to you that way, there's 3 sites that I recommend. First, there's the iRecruit.com. Now, this isn't a place where you would post your resume, but what it is, it's a website that allows you to reach out to recruiters. So it's like a directory of recruiters in different industries and different locations too. And then it'll send you to their website. And then on the recruiter's website, you can upload your resume to the firm's website, and then it works the same way like a reverse job search. So one way to get discovered by recruiters is to just go to their websites, their firm websites, and then just upload your resume without applying for anything, and you'll get some hits that way. The other way is through reverse strategies is through LinkedIn. Now, we're going to do a whole lecture on LinkedIn and how to use that, but LinkedIn is beautiful for the reverse job search and for passive job searching. A lot of recruiters on LinkedIn, a lot of jobs on LinkedIn, but I won't be able to go into detail today on that. But then Monster.com has a resume upload reverse job search engine there, so you can always post your resume on Monster.com. Now, here's the thing about the reverse job search. It sounds really convenient when, okay, instead of having to fill out applications for all these companies and blah, 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 and, get rejected, blah, blah, people come to me. Why wouldn't you do the reverse job search? Well, the kind of the trade-off to the reverse job search is, and I've had clients who have said this, it's like you will get a lot of, depending on what you are, like what your qualifications are, you're going to get hits on things that you probably don't want to get hits on. Like I had one client, he got 2 or 3 offers to sell vacuum cleaners. You're going to get a lot of, do you want to sell insurance kind of stuff, regardless of what your field is, that kind of stuff. So you just have to be a bit of a filter when you do the reverse job search and be ready to say no to things. And don't take the first thing that comes to you. Make sure you do your due diligence and researching the company, visiting the site, talking to the employees and such, because there can be some shady job offers out there for sure. Okay. Now, one of the biggest things that you have to remember when you're on the job market is when you apply online, it's a very low percentage shot. There are so many people who apply for one job. Like I said, 70 to 200 is the typical range of candidates that apply for just one job. So it's you versus at least 70 other candidates when you're applying for a job. When you apply online and that's all you do, it's just low percentage because you have to go through the ATS, you have to go through a database, and you're just an entry in a database when you apply for a job like that. You appear as a number, and you may not even get your resume looked at because you didn't have enough keywords, and it's just low percentage. Now, it can work, but it just takes a long time. I mean, the average job seeker, I think, spends 9 months now on the job market just applying. It takes a long time if you just do online only. We want to avoid that. What we want to do is just take high percentage shots. What are the high percentage shots? Referrals. So these are jobs that you are led to by somebody within the company. In other words, instead of you applying online, going through their database, hopefully getting picked and doing the interviews, you're going to meet somebody who works at that company. And that person's going to call HR directly, and they're going to say, you need to interview this person right now or soon. And then that person, because they vouch for you, they're going to get you an interview at the company without you having to fill out any application. That's a referral. So anytime you know somebody who works at a particular company who can vouch for you and help you get that job, that's a referral. Now, that's different from a reference. We'll talk about references in another lecture, but referrals are somebody works at this company, they vouch for you, they get you an interview, you didn't have to apply anywhere. The second high percentage shot on the job market, recruiters. Recruiters are people who are tasked with filling positions. So their job, full-time, is company says to them, recruiter, we need somebody who does computer programming, but we want them to have 5 years experience, they have to know these 5 languages, and they have to be willing to relocate. Okay, recruiter goes online, recruiter starts looking for people who have the number of years experience, who know the languages, and are willing to relocate. Recruiters have an inroad to the company because the company is going to take their word for who they think is going to be good. And the recruiter might come up with a candidate list of 10 people, and the recruiter is going to go directly to the HR person or the hiring person, and they'll say, here are 10 people. So you want recruiters and referrals. Those are your 2 highest percentage shots on the job market. If I can get more of those than anything else, then you don't have to do the whole online thing. The online thing just becomes for fun. The other thing too, when you become good at the job search, especially as you move up in your career, one thing that I've noticed too, because I work with executive clients, like I was just working with an executive client today. He gets his jobs through referrals and recruiters. He doesn't apply to places like you all do. As you move up in the corporate train, your network builds. You naturally, recruiters will come to you because you're talented and you've climbed up the chains of the corporate ladder and all that stuff. So in the more executive market, it's a different job search, just generally. But that's generally how they get their jobs. I mean, that's a huge part of how they get their jobs is through referrals and recruiters. But because you may just be starting out, you may be early in your career, you can still exercise these and start building these things up, and you can still get jobs these ways. But it's just as you move up, it becomes more commonplace for you to do it that way. Now, the way I systematically put this together then is through something called the career ecosystem. And that's what we're going to talk about next.